welcome back to the program. We have a couple folks from the Sand Creek Summer Daze Festival coming up in July. The 7th and the 8th, I believe, are the dates secured for that. Carly Stavola, the marketing team member here today, and Greg Hanson, the executive director of the festival. How y'all doing?
Great.
Great. Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on the program. I've been a part of the Sand Creek Summer Days myself as far as volunteering for certain things. I think it's a great festival. I'm hoping that as we talk about this and whatnot, that people will get a little bit of a history of the program and as far as what things have offered and just continue on through and give us just a little bit of what's happening this year even.
Well, this year we've got pretty exciting. We're doing something we've never done before. We're breaking ground and having a female Sand Creek Charlie. We thought about this for a while, and I figured it was time. And we did a search committee and found the perfect person to be Sand Creek Charlie without the E on the end. And we also have a all-female lineup on the countryside for Friday night for the concert.
Cool.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Other than that, we have several new water events coming up, along with the same old traditional events with the medallion hunt, which a lot of people have done for several years now.
I do every year.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
I
Well,
wanna
you're ineligible now.
Right. Yeah. I know.
And again, we have the traditional kids area for about 4 to 5 hours, and we have musicians, small musicians on stage. We have bands, have ventriloquists, and ice cream eating contests. Some of the same traditional things we've had before.
Yeah, cool. So if you are just now hearing this and just questioning what's a little bit about Sand Creek Summer Days, where did it come from, a type of a thing, or even if you've heard and then not attended, how did Sand Creek Summer Days come about?
In about 2017, I ran a program to help raise money for the Big Brothers and Big Sisters. They had a program where they had the duck races down the creek, and I thought, let's do something additional to that. And I came up with basically a box type float competition. Build your own, cardboard boat and float across the creek to raise money for them as well. And after it was over, I was standing with Michael Lunsford from the Meridian Center. He goes, it'd be great if we did something every summer to this caliber, maybe even more. And we started discussing the festival type atmosphere. The last festival we had in town closed and shut down in 2012, and this was 2017. He goes, it'd be great if you could do something to jumpstart something, and that's basically how it started. From there, we just came up with ideas. A small team of volunteers, 6 of us, started moving on, and we're going into our 5th year.
Yeah, it's amazing. So in the beginning, when you started the Sand Creek Summer Days Festival, were you was it kind of you were anticipating that a lot of people would show up, that a lot of people would enjoy a festival? Did it work out quite like you thought?
We didn't know how many people were going to attend. We thought we had the word out pretty well. We ended up having about 1,200 people.
Amazing.
So that was great. That first year was something new inside. We wanted it to grow. We did hear that, with Newton, it's kind of a 3 to 5 year process. Once you've been around 5 years, a lot of Newtonians will then start, okay, this is for real, this is going to stay. And that's something we did battle the first few years, but every year we've had more more people buying buttons, more people coming to the festival. And last couple of years we've had an excellent marketing team really blow the doors off how we get the festival name out to people, and very excited about what they're doing in this coming up festival.
Yeah, and speaking of a marketing team, Sissy and I were talking on the way out here just about Carly and what you do and in conjunction with how you aid Sand Creek Summer Days. Like, what's your job, right? So how do you come into play here? You have a title, and then what does that include? What's your job?
So kind of a fun piece of this is back when I was still doing TV news, Greg had reached out and asked if I would judge the ugly dog contest at Sand Creek Summer Days. And it's hilarious. It benefits the Humane Society, and people brought out their mostly very old dogs, and it was an ugly dog contest, and it was just so fun. And so then from there, I've just kind of grown my involvement and Greg said, we have a really great marketing team. We've enlisted the help this year of Andrea Breaker of Community Creative Services, and she's incredible with getting the word out and marketing the festival. And so we're trying to kind of take some new ways of reaching people, because even though I felt like I did heavy social media presence for it last summer, there was still people commenting on the posts on Facebook after the festival saying, well, I didn't even know this was happening.
Yeah.
And so it's like, how do you reach everybody? We reached new people each time, but how do you reach more people? So that's been our focus, is growing the reach of the festival.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
As far as like in the beginning, I know you said that you started with a few different activities as far as a base, kind of what you can expect when you go. You mentioned that it grew over time. What are some of the things that it's grown to incorporate that you just never thought it would in the beginning?
Well, the hardest part about the festival is learning to drop events that aren't popular. You think it's the greatest event ever in your head when you think of it at 3 a.m, and then you execute it.
I love it.
You execute it and you go through it. I'm like, that didn't attract very many people. So you have to be very willing to drop events, and with the executive committee and the other committee members, because we're up like 22 members now volunteering, which is incredible for Newton and for us. It's like, what do you think? What do you think? The hardest part of this whole festival is creating this little baby I had and growing it and then letting it go. Just saying, okay, you guys take this over. I'm going to let you do this, do your expertise. And that was the hardest thing for me, was taking this and giving it to the marketing team to have them do what they do, not me.
Yeah.
What their jobs are in real life and what they're great at. And once you let that go, it grows larger. Just like the events, I have to go to people and say, what event would you like to do? And we really want the public to know that, come up with an idea, and if you want to run an event and be part of the festival, it's yours.
Yeah.
We just want to ensure the quality of the event, how well it's maintained, how well it's developed and ran, and the floor is open for anybody in Newton that wants to come through and develop a cool event for the festival with us.
Yeah.
And some of the things we started, the home brewing competition, we didn't have a clue what it was going to be like. And now it's we've had several people call, how do you run this?
Yeah.
How do you run this event? And we tell them, here's what we need to do. I basically copied off of the Chamber of Commerce in Hayes, Kansas, started it. So I knew how to run it legally through ABC in Kansas, how to run it legally through the city. And the city's been great to work with us on things like that, events. Sometimes they say, Greg, you probably shouldn't do this, and sometimes they say, that'd be a great idea. So the Hard Reds, the home brewing competition, is one that just blossomed.
Well, and Carly, you're the marketer, right? So if I'm sitting here and I'm listening, I'm thinking, what is a hard brews? What now, Hannah?
Yeah.
What is that about?
So Hard Reds Brew Off is the beer competition part of the festival, and kind of the history behind that was how we take hard red winter wheat, which is a product, very popular here in Kansas. The pioneers brought it over, and how different home brewers and some beginning, some really advanced, are able to take those items and create really creative brews, and the community is able to go through and sample all these different brews, and when we attract people from all over the place that take part in that event.
Yeah, so what's the farthest place somebody came to brew in your competition, Greg?
3 years ago, we had a couple from St. Louis on a fluke, heard about this, drove in to Newton, participated in this, stayed in Newton an extra day, looked around at all the fun stuff we had to do, and then went back, and they said it was the neatest thing ever.
And I remember, I think it was last summer, I was sitting at a restaurant and right around the festival time, and a couple that was not from here were talking to us, and I'm like, what brings you here? And they had come for the competition, so that was pretty cool.
Very cool, very cool. And I know there's other competitions too, but speaking to what Greg said, Sissy remembers this when she was coming back. We were talking about scheduling and stuff, and I said, well, during July in the Sand Creek Summer Days, I got to help out with a skate competition. And to what Greg said, there was a few of us that got together for the Sand Creek Summer Days and said, hey, why don't we do some kind of a skateboarding competition, right? And so Matt Hensley got in there, and Cody, I can't think what his last name is, and then myself, I think it's Cody Snow maybe, but all of us together just basically came to Greg and the Sand Creek Summer Days and said, hey, we'd like to do this as an activity, and it came to pass. And the first year it was like, ooh, we had a lot of spectators, not a lot of competitors. But then the second year we doubled or maybe even tripled in competitors. It was amazing thing. So if you are somebody that's listening to this right now and you want to be participating in the Sand Creek Summer Days and you have an activity or something, reach out and talk to one of the committee members, because, it's quite possible that we might be doing something you want to do later on in the future.
And the skateboard competition was something that just went beyond the festival. Since we're a 501c3, we do help other 501c3s or schools or whoever needs help, and they have an event and they want to fundraise. That's great. That's what we want to do. The skateboard competition actually blossomed into some other things that were good for the community. Watching that and having you guys talk about that and said, hey, this is great, but the skateboard facility itself has some issues.
Yeah.
And we have issues with drugs. We have issues with these kids going down there, and not everyone is an athlete in Newton, Kansas. These kids have a particular niche where they are skateboarders. They may not be the star athletes at the high school. They are kids in need to find something athletically to do along with their friends. So they go down to skateboard. Well, when you have kids getting intimidated, bullied, or the possibility of some drug use or at that area, it extended to my Rotary presidency, and we spent $10,000 at that skate park fixing that up with all new cameras. They have 2 cameras on there now. We installed all brand new lighting, and we actually also helped fix up some of the cement on that skateboard park itself. And that's really, from what I understand now, really blossomed. There's more skateboarders there. Mm-hmm. The parents are more relieved. They've actually stopped a lot of that. I can't say stop everything, but they've caught the kids on cameras. The bad people don't need to be there. And it blossomed from one little event we had in the festival into something more meaningful in the community.
Yeah. And so there's just it's a cyclical in a way. You have a community that of individuals that stand up together to get a festival going, and then by just down the road, it's doing something to benefit even just your local community as far as having better facilities, for those people. So,
Right.
Sissy, have you ever been to the Sand Creek Summer Days Festival?
Nope, brand new since I've been around.
Okay, I was going to say, because you might have moved away before they had it, and then...
I was very familiar with the other festival that lasted a while.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I guess I wasn't aware that there wasn't a summer festival.
Sand
for a
Creek
little
Summer
while.
Days.
Yeah, so I'm glad
Yeah.
there's something going. I mean,
There's
that's
a period
awesome.
of 5 years I heard there was
Yeah.
nothing in
And
town.
so Sissy's got a little sissy. What kind of things, if you got a little sissy or a mini-me running around, this is not just for an adult like setting. There's stuff that you can do for all ages. So what are some things that if Sissy was looking at going and doing the Sand Creek Summer Days, what does she got Sissy and little Sissy to do?
Yeah, we have a Timeout for Kids zone, which has a lot of fun components to it. I'm going to speak specifically to last year. We had some of the characters from the Wichita Princesses come, so they're
very
walking
cool.
around.
Cool.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
a huge draw. And then there was also different little art activities, a dunk tank that benefited the soccer club in town, all sorts of games, yard games, things like that for kids to do specifically in Athletic Park over the festival.
And when
Very
you're
cool.
dunking people, you're not just dunking one, it's just nobody, Sissy.
Oh, yeah.
You're going up and you're dunking the people of Newton.
Oh, yeah.
Sheriffs, SROs.
Mayor, our
Mayor.
superintendent
Oh, yeah.
took a turn.
And
Yeah.
they're there for a minute. So you get to get all those throws
Yeah.
in that you want to get in there, and they'll just take it. And they love it. It's a good thing. It's actually a pretty cool charitable deal. I've always enjoyed that. I've always thrown a couple balls. Somebody.
Well, this year we've taken the dunk tank and reformatted it where you won't fall into a pool of water that 14 people have fell into before.
Oh.
And maybe yellow or green or whatever.
Oh, that
color.
adds to the excitement, Greg.
We've created a new dunk chair where the person volunteering, a huge water balloon will be over their head. When you hit the target, it breaks the water balloon and it completely splashes all over them and
Nice.
and envelops them, and they get just as wet. And they can sit on a chair being being relatively safe, not to climbing up and down, so we could have more people that are able to climb up on there, possibly help volunteer for it. And this year, it's going to benefit
The all-inclusive playground project at Slate Creek Elementary School.
Nice. Very good. Very good. Yeah, that when I first heard that coming around, I thought, man, there's one of those things where you're just looking at something. My kids went to Slate Creek, right? So I'm just looking at that over and over, and it never came across my mind that they didn't have something like that. And then when somebody saw that need and they want to fill that need, that's visionary thinking. Then the community can get behind that, and then from there, they can all be participants in making it happen. And that's what I think Sand Creek Summer Days is, Greg.
It is. Like Carly said, the kids area, basically we invite churches, organizations, the municipalities and the city bring their trucks out and everything like that. But if you're a church and you want to, the thing is entertain the kids, and then you'll be able to pass out or hand out things to your church, your program, to, I can't say recruit, but to see if members are interested in what you do. Yeah. We have the voting machines, so kids can learn how to use the voting machines properly when they're young and be comfortable with them when they get older, which we need to have more people comfortable with them. And
no doubt.
Yeah.
And we need and so an organization like
the theater group last year was one.
Yeah, the theater group will be singing songs from their upcoming play on the small stage this year. We moved it from the kids area to the small stage. Okay. And we also, during the Time Out for Kids, you get the Army Reserves, you get different churches, you get the, not say the DARE program, but the STAND program in there as well, and showing
DFY
kids.
too.
Yes,
yeah, probably. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So if you're an organization that wants to get the word out and what you do, just set up a kids booth in there. It's 4 hours is all you need to be there. And have something fun for the kids to do, and we this year we segmented it out a little bit different. So the first 4 hours of the festival is the kids area. There's an hour overlapping, and then it goes to the intermediate where the kids or adults can be there. Inside the small stage where you're going to see ice cream eating contest, the theater group, a couple other bands playing, the magician, the ventriloquist, and then that moves on to the Hard Reds. From 3 to 5:30, then moving into the concert. So we kind of did a segmented section this year from one to the next, to the next, to the next. So it's easier on volunteers and it's easier on everybody else.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, good logistics is always good in a festival that brings thousands of people. Speaking of that, I know in the kids area. Well, first I got to ask. Okay, I've never participated yet, and I haven't seen it done, but I'm always wondering what is like the box that looks like hockey or something. What do you call that? Soccer, like
foosball?
the old foosball. That's what I'm looking for.
Yes.
What in the goodness gracious is that about?
Well, originally we wanted to have human foosball, and we did that the first 3 years.
Okay.
And it is a monster task to put that together and take that apart. So the last couple of years, we're going to try to do that every third year.
Okay.
Because it takes so many volunteers, and to put that up and put that down, we literally added Bethel's turf to it. So it's a turfed foosball, 30 feet long by 15 feet wide. You hang onto a PVC pipe, just like real foosball. And we do that every 3 years now because it's just such a monster to put up and take down. You're talking 2 hours up, 2 hours down, full netting and everything. So that will be coming up next year. We'll bring that back and hopefully recruit more teams in to play that. So that's like every 3 year is how we're going to run that.
Yeah, and then the children's play area, just to clarify, there's like police cars in there, right? And then all kinds of things for kids to be able to see. There's an ambulance there. Am I wrong? I thought there was like a lot of those different things in that area that they can just...
The smokehouse.
Okay.
All those different groups.
There'll be a bounce house for just the little kids. The thing that frustrated me when I had nieces or nephews, or when my son 30 years ago was little, the big kids would just dominate the little kids in the bounce house. So we have a bounce house specifically for 6 and under kids that'll be there. Okay. And we want to thank, first of all, I want to make sure that I thank the Newton YMCA for helping run the kids area, as well as Jerry Pomeroy and his organization, Empower Physical Therapy, for they take that under their hands and run that for us. Mm-hmm. And if we didn't have them, we couldn't do it because we're so thin as far as 22 volunteers. We couldn't run that size of an area. Yeah. So there'll be a bigger inflatable obstacle course for the big kids. And we keep them separated too. For some parents who don't want kids following each other, and it helps us out with injuries. The bigger kids, when they go through, they're completely separated, so they can't run into each other, fall into each other, and they go through the obstacle course themselves. And that's something we have to be careful about as well, safety of everyone throughout the festival. So we have the small house for little kids to play, and then the larger obstacle course for the larger kids.
Very cool.
And there's a lot of different things in there that are really fun.
Yeah. What? There's some other big events. I know you talked about the brew off, but is there's something like, is there a barbecue or something, or is that part of the brew off?
This is the first year we're not temporarily not having the barbecue competition, because both the people who run that are out of country and very busy this year. So it's a Kansas City Barbecue Society sanctioned Master Series event when we run that. So the people who place and win this move on to nationals, and they can then move on to international competition. Well, this year we just didn't have the guys to do it, so they told us ahead of time. We still reserve the slot, so next year, that second weekend of July, we will have the Master Series Barbecue back. I'm not disappointed, because we do what we can with the volunteers we have. And though I love those guys, Jeffrey Graber and Nate Regier do a wonderful job running that for us. And we've had famous TV personalities in every year, and a lot of people just don't realize that we've had several TV show Pitmaster champions in Newton.
Cool.
We've had some guys that have been on
Diners, drive-ins, and dives.
Yes, we've had one of those guys in here, and it's just we try to get the word out as much as we can that we have these people here. It's just we need more people cruising in, checking them out, and things like that, which we're achieving because of the marketing team.
Right.
Yeah, the big draw this year, Rick Taves, our marketing chair, and then Andrea Breaker specifically, have been very proactive in actually physically going to our surrounding communities outside of Newton, like Heston, Halstead, Sedgwick, to try to get them to come have some buy-in with the festival as well, because it's not just a Newton thing.
Yeah.
It's a Kansas thing.
Yeah.
There's something for everybody, and that's going to be especially big this year with the musical acts are a big draw. Bree Bagwell and Savannah Chestnut are big on the red dirt country scene.
Awesome.
And they're both excited. We've heard from both of them, and they're both excited to be able to perform at Summer Daze.
Yeah, we have a really nice stage there where
Yes.
you can get a lawn chair. It's nice outside. I know that you should be able to buy some brews if you want to buy some brews. So
Yeah, last year we had the Rock Gods, which was kind of an 80s rock band.
well, they were
played
awesome.
the hits. They were
I was
amazing.
there. I was there for that one. That was a good night.
That was fun to just also walk by and see people were just dancing in Athletic Park, dancing to music and enjoying themselves. So that was really cool to see, and this will be something that we just build on.
Yeah, and then not only that, but I know when I go up there, it just constantly smells good. So if you haven't been, Sissy, you're gonna have to take a little Sissy up there to get some of the.
So
how many?
don't eat for a week or so beforehand.
Yeah, that's right, and then eat
yeah.
nothing but all the options that they have there.
Yeah, there you
Because
go.
isn't there like a food truck alley or something?
Well, just basically food trucks in the concert area. We have we tried to do local food trucks to help support the local communities, and we have several of those in this year, as well as some out of town food trucks that will come in. So you'll be able to sample anything from Hispanic food to barbecue to we have smoothies and shakes this year. We have homemade ice cream from here in Newton.
Oh, awesome.
Yes,
Yeah.
and some other items.
Will there be the funnel cake truck shack thing?
Well,
No, go ahead.
Wings and Tails
Yep.
has
Funnel
plenty
cakes.
of different types of funnel cakes
Okay.
that you can
That's
engorge
the one.
yourself on.
That's the one, Sissy.
My
Yeah.
mini-me was very disappointed that we missed the O'Reilly's funnel cake trailer shack. I don't even know what it was called. Somebody
Yeah.
told me, and I'm terrible with names. But
And-
anyway, yes, she was very disappointed. So I know this summer I told her, I said, surely there will be a funnel cake for you
Yes.
to try.
And what's the deal with the medallion? Now, I don't know. I've never. Am I supposed to be looking for a medallion?
Well, every year I get stuck. I don't get stuck. I kind of like it. But I found out that Newton has a lot of parks, but not a lot of places to hide a 5-inch medallion, 6-inch medallion. And I constantly go out, like this next few weeks, I'm very short, and you can't see me. Just kidding. I have to go out and find the medallion. So I've seen people following me in a car before, and I just had to go home because they know who I am, and they're out there going, "Okay, what is going on?" And
Is he putting it
is he
down?
Why is
hiding
Greg
this
in this
medallion?
weird park?
And then it's great because I know every park in Newton now and every square inch of every park, and I have to go out and find a great place to hide it, and then I get to go back and I have to write all the clues, and it's absolutely horrible. Going, okay, is this too easy? Is this too hard? When are they going to find it? And every year I think it's too hard. They found it in day 3 and 3 or 4 or 2, and I'm like, I want to get hard clues because we have 7 days to find it, but I keep thinking they're way too hard, and here they find it. And,
Well, people put their minds together.
They do.
You
They
know,
get to keep the medallion. It's a really cool engraved medallion. It's not magnetic, so you can't use, magnetic.
Dang it.
Yeah, you can't use
That
those.
covers what we were talking about
Right?
last
Yeah.
week, Sissy. I'm glad I didn't get too mad at the person that was over there.
Right,
with
you
the
get to
metal
keep the
detector.
medallion, and you get $500 prize for finding it.
What?
So
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
so
$500 prize.
Yeah.
That's going to make me look a lot harder. I didn't realize that.
and again, since you're on the committee, you are not eligible to find the medallion. So just stop it there.
But I am.
This ain't fair. I need to
I'm
go find
going
a
to find it.
$500 medallion.
No, it'll be me.
Something that Carly talked about earlier, which we wanted to let a lot of people know, and I'll let her explain it more. The marketing team has gone out to all these communities that surround Newton, and as part of the festival, we're trying to make it an area-wide festival, not just a Newton festival, because we have plenty of room where we're having it to have a lot of people into the park. And this group has gone out, and I'll let her explain what towns they've gone to, but we have a whole area set up for them to meet the people and talk about their towns.
Oh, that's really
explain that.
cool.
Yeah, so to kind of give them some buy-in to the festival, Rick and Andrea especially have told them, come be a part of the festival. So you can expect to see, a Heston booth, a Halstead booth, a North Newton booth, where they can set up and do whatever they're wanting to do as part of the festival. But to maybe make somebody who's not from our town come and say, oh yeah, this is a festival for me too.
Yeah.
And they're going to advertise their festivals and their fun activities that they have throughout the year. And we want to co-op with them and say, hey, this is a great festival we have here, but we want you to go to Hillsborough for this festival.
Yeah.
We want you to go to our neighbor Sedgwick and Halstead, enjoy everything they do, because we believe, just like Newton, they have great communities, and this is a good middle America where everyone can help each other and participate with each other and have fun in these awesome communities we have surrounding us. And we want to make sure they can show off what they do wonderfully in their area.
Yeah, and specifically here in Newton, we have kind of a fun way of promoting the festival this year. I'll let Greg talk about that with the stand-up paddleboard for our 5 major sponsors: Interest Bank, Union State Bank, NMC Health, Berkshire Hathaway, PenFed Realty, and Choose Newton. And there's kind of a fun way that we're able to incorporate them into the festival.
Yeah, basically we bought a 10-foot stand-up inflatable paddleboard. And you think inflatable, it's not cheap. It's one of the higher-end ones, $800 paddleboard. And we've decorated it with the Sand Creek Summer Daze logos, and there's going to be a QR code on that. And the marketing team is set up where this paddleboard will be set up in 5 to 6 different places throughout town, and we'll advertise on Facebook. When you go in there, you'll take a picture of the QR code, and the rules will pop up, what you need to do, how you need to share this, so we can get more people seeing about the festival, and you have a chance to be in the pool to win this. You don't have to be present to win, but we will announce the winner Saturday between the concert, in the middle of the concert, when we have the hula hoop contest and things like that. In the middle, we'll announce the winner, and they get to take that home that evening.
Very cool.
We'll have the fast food junkies and the source. So we're going to have some bluegrass / rock and roll bluegrass before, and then the source is a band led by a late Newton resident, who's not late, he used to live here, past Newton resident, and he runs the band, and they got horns, dance band. It's going to be, again, more dancing, more fun, in the concert area for the festival, and we try to do that. So we'll have some guys two-stepping on Friday night and have people boogieing down on Saturday night at the festival.
Yeah, that's awesome. I will definitely have to go see the Fast Food Junkies.
Oh,
I grew up
definitely.
with those
Yeah.
guys.
Oh,
So
cool.
I used to actually pound on drums in the basement with some of them. So they're definitely more inclined musically than I am. But still, whenever they get around, they're an awesome show. I mean, they really are an awesome show. Upbeat, really cool. Has quite a following that comes with them that really just adds to the whole thing. And if you're a bluegrass or a rock bluegrass, this is the band to see. You know, this is the band to see.
And then once it's dark, following the source when they play, we have Flock's Fire coming in and doing their fire routines.
Oh.
We had them last year
Fire
on the
dancers.
small stage, yes, and people are like, I want these people at night. So the public told us they want them back in the evening so they could see the fire show. So we brought them back at an evening performance on Saturday night following the other two bands, and it's really neat to watch those artistic people go at their craft and what they do, and it's really enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. A fire show? Like
Fire
what?
dancers.
Where is it? Like, tell me what about this fire show is about.
Fire batons, fire swords,
Like
fire
they're literally
eaters.
doing the whole thing, like
whole thing,
you see, like
yes.
just with the music and the drums going, and they're flanging it around, and they're
Yeah,
doing the
very
whole thing.
upbeat, really neat.
No, that'd be cool. I definitely
Yeah.
want to see that.
Yeah,
Definitely.
you can see him perform in Old Town Square, usually in Wichita. But
Okay.
They're going to be in Athletic Park for
Okay.
Sand Creek Summer Days.
And
So
you will
cool.
be you're going to be our guest performer.
Yeah.
We're going
What-
to
what
light
am
you
I
on
gonna
fire.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
I tried to attempt that one time in
You
my
jump
life,
through
and
the
it didn't
flaming
necessarily
hoop
work
and
out for
catch
me.
catch the baton on your way out.
You will be doing the hula hoop competition
yeah.
I
on
will
fire.
attempt anything. Anything.
Now, the
once.
hula hoop competition, I think we need to sign him up for your hula hoop contest ambassador.
We should. I
I'm
think
quite the hula hooper.
We're going to have a quick public competition, and we're going to have a competition with some well-known people in the Newton area, which we will announce later, who are going to compete, and everyone's going to judge who they think will win.
Oh, there
you know,
you go.
I'm trying to get
Oh,
Ron
please
from
tell
North
me,
Newton
yes.
possibly to
I was
see if
gonna
he
say,
would do
where's
it.
our politicians
Leroy
at?
Kane, because they all said I can't hula hoop, so that's why we're going to bring.
Right.
Don't say you can't hula
Yeah.
hoop because then
Right.
Greg's going to bring you on stage.
Surely there's
Right,
going to be
right.
like a time limit where they have to try
Can we,
at least
can
this
we
long.
jump rope with it? I might, or on the arm.
They
you know.
just so they know they have to perform at least because they're going to name a charity, which the money that they win, the $250 that they will have a chance to win, goes to.
Awesome.
Very cool. Very cool.
It'll be lots of fun. I can see it now.
Yeah, and then-
are you banning cell phone video for that day?
We are
Surely
not. We encourage it.
Surely not. I was going to say,
Right.
I'll be there. I'll be there. That'll be the post from Harvey County Talk there. That's what I want to see.
Photo of the week.
What, I mean, I know you mentioned some of these, and I've been here before, so it's just there is so much to do. We haven't even mentioned just a portion of it. It is an all-day, 2-day, 3-day?
2 day. Well, 3 day. Thursday night. Okay. Speaking of people
Yeah, throw
wanting
this down
to
to
do events,
people. Now, and I just want to say, you do have to buy a button to enter, but
Yes.
your button costs how much?
Well, at the gate it's $5,
$5.
and if you get it any of the participating locations listed on the website, it's $4 if you buy previous.
Right.
Or if you want to buy 100 buttons, we'll give them to you for $3.
And that would be an
there you
awesome
go.
thing for a business to do,
Yes.
for their company to buy 100 buttons and be able to say, hey, here, go enjoy a festival this weekend. This is really a fun time.
Yes.
So,
Thursday night, the Newton Sluggin Rebels came to us and said, we want to be part of the festival. I invited them last year. It
Awesome.
didn't work out.
awesome.
And so if you wear a Sand Creek Summer Daze button and go to the game Thursday night at Centennial Park, go
Thursday,
to the
July
game.
6th, yep.
Yes, you get in free.
See, that's another activity that you watch the Newton Sluggin Rebels on top
There
of
you
going
go.
to a festival. So it is like a few day deal here, right?
Yeah,
So then
two nights, one full day.
just give me a rundown on I buy a button, I go to a Rebels game on Thursday night, then what happens to me the rest of the time? Like, what kind of things do I get to do? Where can I take my kids? Can I drop my kids off? What can I do during that? I mean, I know there's so much that I can't catch it all.
Well, basically, Thursday night, you're at the game. Friday night, you're going to come in and watch the country concert.
Nice.
And then there'll be the opening presentation. We'll have our Hero of the Year, which we always have. A person come in, and we donate a couple $100 to their charity. That was here, and I think this year, I think we have a guest. We're really close to making sure she can make it, and her charity will be somewhere at the high school, the music department. And then we're going to have, and then Saturday morning it starts at 9 o'clock. Bethel, the Bethel volleyball team, to raise money, we're having a sand volleyball tournament.
Nice.
For
Okay.
them. We're having a disc golf tournament for all the disc golfers in town.
Huh.
Everything is on the website: how to join, where to go, where to sign up. And then we also Lori Kessler and the I'm brain
Healthy
dead.
Harvey
Healthy
Coalition?
Harvey Coalition. They're having a sandcastle building competition there.
Nice.
For the families to get out and do some physical activities.
So is this a parent-kid activity? Like I get to, with my kid, make a sandcastle?
They are making the rules, and they will be updated on the web. I don't have quite
Okay.
the rules yet because they're
I'm
going
interested.
through that.
I'm interested. I'm a pretty
Yes.
good sandcastle maker.
But they have the rules for that, and it'll be at one of the that'll be one of the sand volleyball places in another part of the park, so it doesn't interfere. No one gets hit in the head with the volleyball from the other competition. Yeah.
So then you can do that in the morning. There's got to be some other things.
The kids area opens. It goes 9 to 1.
Okay.
And then also there's a Mustang car show.
Oh wow.
On the north side there, you don't have to have a button to go through that, but you can go and see all the cars there and all the Mustangs from the very first half year to current ones that are completely stock or some that are souped up, and that'll be fun to go through as well. 9 to 1. Then at 1 o'clock or 10 o'clock over the other side, you'll be able to go to the other side to see the events like the Newton Mural organization. They run a tent that has the kids can come in and paint different things and keep those. And they had a mural last year that all the kids made, and they displayed it. So you're doing something with them and for them. Every year we have a mural artist come through and paint a mural of Newton, of Harvey County, and what it's going to look like. We have a tent displaying all 4 years of the past murals, and there'll be a live mural artist right then painting that.
Yeah, if
Very
you
cool.
go to 3rd and Main Street in downtown Newton on the east side there's a buffalo mural, and that was from the Sand Creek Summer Daze Festival last year. They
Awesome.
dedicated it. Yeah.
Okay,
at the
very
end of
cool.
2022. It was really cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of things to do throughout the day as far as events, and we're going to try to have a bonsai blast off. It's a new event where a team can enter and try to win a $250 grand prize. It's a 5-member team. They have to inflate their own water balloons and then launch them at different targets on the football field. And from 50 to 100 yards out. And we're going to have that going in the morning as well. So basically the public came to us and said, we want more water events.
Yeah.
How are we going to do water events, safely? You can't do them on the concrete. People slip and get hurt. You do them in the grass, things get muddy. So the Rec Commission was nice enough to say, you could do this on the turf.
Yeah.
Naturally everything's going to be covered, and as far as where we put heavy machinery and things. But yeah, they're going to let us do on the football field. So it's again, it's a community-based involvement with everyone buying in for us. The city is great with us. The Rec Commission was wonderful with us, and other organizations.
Well, and so then you're getting into lunchtime, so I'm going to catch some food there somewhere at a food truck, right? I get my options. There's always good ones, and then from there you get into the evening. So what type of activities transition over in the evening time?
I think the hypnotist or the ventriloquist goes up until about 4:30, and then you can move from there over to the concert area and sit there and wait for the concert starts at 6 o'clock on Saturday is when the evening concert starts.
Okay, awesome.
So that hour and a half intermission then between activities and the concert would be a great time to go hit Food Truck Alley.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Yeah, do that.
It is.
Yeah,
Or go
definitely.
home and take a quick nap,
Yep.
change,
Yeah.
and come back.
Nap.
It is
Yeah.
very hot.
Grab
It is
your
very-
bug spray.
Yes, it's very
Yeah.
hot during the festival, and it gives you a
Yeah.
chance to go home, and please come back.
Right.
Get home and change, because
Right.
there's some great music going on.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
might get lucky and have some nice mild weather.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
That'd
that's
be wonderful.
definitely an option.
Last year, the patriotic part of the music, that was it Thursday evening, patriotic part, it was beautiful weather. And I went with my grandparents, and we brought our lawn chairs and a blanket for the baby. And we just sat and listened to the horns and strings and things like that. And then, of course, I told you I loved the Rock Gods concert last year, and we just had a blast. It was a lot hotter then, but like I said, it was just fun to see people up and dancing and enjoying themselves.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's great.
And even then, I mean, if you're looking at there's certain parts of the day where that concert area might get a little bit warm, but when you start getting into the evening, it starts getting into the shade and starts cooling off a little bit for a nice good evening, an enjoyable evening. So then we turn it around to the next day. What do we got the next day? I know there's
You're
more.
welcome to show up and help us tear down and clean up on Sunday.
I love it. Volunteer. Okay, so in the past, I know that they had maybe something that on Sunday, maybe
In the past, we had things on Sunday. We're just not capable of having a 3-day event at this time.
Yeah.
Unless we get a lot more volunteers, a lot more organizations wanting to pursue something on Sunday that we really don't have to have a large grip on, or large touch, because we just don't have enough people to do it, and we have to have time for us to clean up because. As Carly knows, like I've had heat stroke before, and last couple of years I've been really sick during it because this year I promised I'm not doing anything. I'm just going to run the festival, and that's
Greg
it.
is
Not
going to stay
participate.
hydrated
Yes.
and wear
Yes.
his sunscreen
Yes.
and kick his feet up and
Yes,
listen
so-
to music in the evening.
Exactly. So that way Sunday I can just help clean up and
Yeah.
take everything back. So.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's a big ordeal, for anybody on the volunteering end of a festival. It takes a lot of hands to make stuff happen. And, numerous times I've heard you all mention, and I've been there to see this firsthand, that about everything that comes in gets put back around into our community.
Yes,
When we talk about winning things, in most cases it's you win something to donate, and that's just an amazing thing. And it's also pretty amazing that, I'm a person that thinks Harvey County is a very attractive county. If when you take all communities together and we have all of these different festivals that take place over the course of a year in Halstead and Heston and then even here in Newton, Sand Creek Summer Daze Festival is a pretty big one. So if you're somebody that goes to the Heston Festival or you go to the Old Settlers Days, then, come on over to the Sand Creek Summer Daze Festival. We know you like festivals, right? So that's a good thing. We're coming to the end of the close of the program. I just kind of wanted to give you the last word. We always give the guest the last word to be able to just say whatever they want to the hearts and minds of those listening. And both of you get an opportunity, so feel free.
I'll let Carly go first.
Okay, I just want to remind you of the dates. July 6th is that evening that you can bring your button out, your $5 button or $4, depending on where you purchase it, to the Newton Slug and Rebels game and get in with that. And then just save that date of July 7th and 8th in Athletic Park. Tell your friends, come out. I promise it's a good time.
Yeah, and is there a place real quick that they can look you up online to find out some of this information?
Yeah, so Sand Creek Summer Daze, and Daze is D-A-Z-E. SandCreekSummerDaze.com is the website, but then we have a really active Facebook page as well, Sand Creek Summer Daze on there, and actually we're on Instagram too. So Sand Creek Summer Daze, again, Daze with a Z. Look us up and you can have all the information about the events and information about where that inflatable paddleboard will be next and things like that. And I just remember last year feeling just an overwhelming amount of gratitude for Greg and Rod and all those guys that pitch in their resources to make this happen for our community, because it is for our community. So I just am grateful as a very pro Newton gal that something like this exists here, and I plan to support it.
Awesome. Awesome.
And that's something I want to stress as well, as being in Newton about 8 years now. And this is my adopted community, and there's some everyone has ups and downs. And staying non-political, this is a great community to live in. There's a lot of great people in this community, and we want to see people celebrate the community, not downplay the community. You have to stay positive for what we do in town. You have to stay positive for the amount of volunteers like Carly and Angie and Rick and you, Lance. And if you look at the number of people on our committee, it's people who really care about the town. If you care about the town, come help us. Be on the committee, help do things for positive in Newton. And you see so many kids smiling out there. You see so many adults that come to you and say, "Thank you for doing this. We really need something like this in Newton, and we just need you to help support it." And it's a great thing for Newton. It's a draw for Newton at the time, and we just want people to understand this is for you all. This is for Newton itself, and that's why we put in all the hard work and do this. It's a $5 button. I think naturally the Riverfest is a $10 button. They have way more than we do, but for the amount of fun you have at our little festival, $5 is a very, very low price.
Yeah. Well, I don't go to the River Festival, so I go to the Sand Creek Summer Daze Festival. That's my festival. Thank you, Carly, and thank you, Greg.
Thanks for having us.
You bet.
All right. Thanks to Carly and Greg for coming out and talking to us about the Sand Creek Summer Daze Festival coming up starting July 6th through the 8th. Mark that on your calendars, folks. And we wanted to share the website again and let you know that they are both on Facebook and Instagram. And so go like and share, get your friends. The website is sandcreeksummerdaze.com. That is sandcreeksummerdaze.com.
Thanks for listening to this week's program.
HT Talk is an HTD podcast.
Make sure and reach out to either Sissy or me.
And let us know what you're thinking.
Enjoy your week, everybody.